Did you know that one of the most dramatic scenes in the entire book of Acts unfolded in a massive theater, a real place you can still visit today? It's the Great Theater of Ephesus. Stay tuned for more.
Welcome to Faith Affirming Findings, a podcast dedicated to sharing with you
the incredible discoveries from the field of biblical archaeology.
These findings will strengthen your faith, affirm the historicity of Scripture, and provide you with unique insights into the culture and background of the Bible.
Now, here is your host, Associate Professor of Bible Exposition at Dallas Theological Seminary,
Dr. Paul Weaver.
Unlike other ancient cities that were buried or lost to time, Ephesus was never fully forgotten. The ruins were always visible, and for centuries pilgrims visited this historic site. But it wasn't until the 1860s that formal excavations began. On May 2, 1863, British engineer John Turtle Wood began digging. By 1866, he turned his attention to what looked like a natural hillside, that is, to an untrained eye. But he knew it was actually the Great Theater of Ephesus. This massive structure was 490 feet in diameter, with 3 tiers of seating, separated by 2 horizontal gangways. The stage was 22 feet wide, and the orchestra 110 feet across. It could hold up to 25,000 spectators, making it one of the largest theaters in the entire ancient world. Wood discovered over 110 inscriptions, mostly in Greek, some in Latin, and sent them off to the British Museum. Further excavation took place in the late 1800s, and renovations continued into the 1990s. But why is this theater important for students of the Bible? Because Acts chapter 19 tells us that during Paul's third missionary journey, he spent several years in Ephesus preaching, teaching, and performing signs of an apostle, that is, miracles. So effective was his ministry that people abandoned their pagan practices and even burned their sorcery scrolls. But not everyone was happy about that. A silversmith named Demetrius, who made idols of Artemis, saw his business in danger. He stirred up other craftsmen and formed a mob, fearing that Paul's message would hurt their livelihood and the reputation of their goddess. The mob rushed into the great theater, and for 2 hours they chanted, "Great is Artemis of the Ephesians." Paul wanted to address the crowd, but his friends, some of whom possessed the title of Asiarch, we'll talk about that later, urged him not to go. The city clerk eventually stepped in, warning the crowd that if they didn't disperse, Rome might interpret this as a riot and send troops to put down the perceived riot. The mob dispersed. Paul left Ephesus, but the theater remained, and so did the evidence. Luke's account in Acts chapter 19 isn't vague or generic. It's packed with specific, verifiable details, and archaeology has remarkably confirmed these details, one by one. Let's look at 5 striking examples. First, archaeologists uncovered a massive theater in Ephesus, just across the way from the market, just as the book implies in Acts. And it was not just any theater, but its size matches Luke's account. A crowd of 25,000 could easily fit there. Second, Luke tells us there were silversmiths in Ephesus. Demetrius was one of those. This too is corroborated by the archaeological record. Sure enough, in 1984, a 2nd century inscription was discovered confirming the existence of a silversmith guild in Ephesus. While it dates a bit later than Paul's visit, it proves that the trade was well established there, just as Luke describes. Third, the title of Asiarch is used by Luke in Acts in chapter 19, verse 31, to refer to a high-ranking official. Numerous inscriptions have proven the widespread use of this term in Roman Asia, validating Luke's familiarity with local governance. Fourth, Luke refers to a city clerk employing the Greek term grammatus, which is a term widely employed outside of the Bible at this same time in history. Fifth and finally, The term that Luke uses for the governor or proconsul in Acts 19:38 is widely used in sources outside of the Bible as well. Extra-biblical sources confirm that a proconsular resided in Ephesus, governing that whole region. So what does all of this mean? It means that Luke wasn't writing legend. He wasn't inventing a myth. He was recording real history. His use of accurate local titles, his detailed geographical references, and his deep familiarity with first century Ephesus all confirm the Bible's historicity and reliability. As one archaeologist rightly states, and I quote, "Some 18 historical references or terms occur in Acts 19 verses 23 to 40. Apart from the personal identities of Demetrius and Alexander, all these references and terms are repeated and reported in the archaeological or inscriptional remains of Ephesus, affording a remarkably complete material commentary on the riveting drama." Once again, the biblical account holds up under historical and archaeological scrutiny. If truth is on our side, and it is, then we would expect the archaeological record to confirm it, and it does. The Great Theater of Ephesus still stands today, a silent witness to the day a furious mob tried to silence the gospel. But the gospel wasn't silenced. The gospel did not die that day in that theater. Instead, it echoed out, past the marble columns, beyond the city gates, and across the Roman Empire to the ends of the earth. And that is your faith-affirming finding of the week. Did you know that this amazing discovery, along with 49 others, are discussed in my upcoming book, Faith Affirming Findings, published by Krigo Publishing, and it is set to be released in the first months of 2026. So depending on when you are watching this video, make sure to pre-order or order
Faith
your
Affirming
own copy
Findings podcast
today.
is a listener-supported podcast devoted to affirming your faith in the reliability of Scripture and illuminating your understanding of Scripture.
If you would like to help sponsor the Faith Affirming Finding podcast,
You can make a tax-deductible donation of any amount, large or small.
At faithaffirmingfindings.com. That's faithaffirmingfindings.com and click on the Give tab.
We hope you'll join us again next week for another exciting Faith Affirming Finding.